We will be starting in around 2 minutes. Connecting live. Okay. Who's that? That is. You're taking it serious, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ian down today on the Green Room Music. Okay. We have hit go live. I'm going to share some stuff real quick. What does that say? Save groups. Why does Facebook change stuff all the time?
I think you're getting forgetful.
Dude, I'm not forgetful, man.
I'm just being mean.
Why is it saying I can't share that? Come on, people. It's got a checkbox there and everything. Everybody listening, we will be starting someday. Add graphics to your video.
Add graphics.
Okay.
Be sure to go to bizforagoodshow.com. Check out all our episodes. We're in season 5. We have over 200 episodes. A lot of amazing guests, insights, impactful stories. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining. Be sure to subscribe on all your podcast outlets today.
Podcast outlets. All right, we are very close to...
Share. Become a fan. Share it.
All right, people. We'll be starting in 30 seconds. I think. All right. We ready for this?
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show, where we highlight misfits, outcasts, and renegades for the being good and doing good movement. We spotlight people that are changing the world by having integrity and honesty and creating an environment of connection, thus showing the true secret to success and creating a life of greater impact. So come on board and create your own Biz for Good life.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the Ryan Pilkington. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Pilkington in the house. Cow! Tell us about the show, Ryan. What's going on today?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is. There's no snow, and it's actually warm out today.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. What are we doing in the studio? We should be out on the lawn or something.
Yeah. Picnic table time.
Ooh. We do have an outlet here too. We could go out of there and bring all the mics and the camera. Yeah, that would be crazy. We're crazy.
That's too much work.
That's way too much work, especially with our cage in here. I guess I should have pictures of the cage too, but whatever. Nobody needs to know what's
cage.
Yeah, we're in a cage.
Oh,
we're all. Are you kidding? People have to cage energy like this, dude.
Right.
We're a caged animal.
We're not cageless. Anyway, today's episode is going to be amazing. We have another amazing guest. I think the topic I might go into is gratitude, but we'll see. Let me go into the bio here. Karl Staib is the founder of Dig to Fly Method. He trains people.
Dig to Fly Method.
The Dig to Fly Method.
Sure, I think so.
Yeah, that's it.
He's like, crap. What am I doing?
He trains people to use the method to find opportunities in their struggles. He has been featured by Forbes, NPR, and Zen Habits, and has worked with great companies such as Philips Global, Southwest Research Institute, and the Pioneer Nation. A seasoned speaker, author of the book Bring Gratitude, and writer who helps entrepreneurs turn their struggles into stepping stones. This allows people to be happier, more productive, and do work that they care about. Also, he has a podcast called The Dig to Fly Podcast.
Sweet.
Grateful you're here. He's coming from San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas.
A fellow Texian, my friend.
Yes, a fellow Texan. Thank you so much, sir, for showing up. We're grateful to have Karl. And should we just run right into it? Do we have any craziness to do, or are we just going to go right into the interview? Let's go. Let's be crazy today and just bring Karl on and just go right into the interview. Karl, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I hope that's true, but thank you for at least sounding excited.
I think he's good.
Yeah, we always talk with our guests beforehand, and Karl is obviously the real deal. He's got you can already tell he's got a great spirit and a great connection to the whole being good and doing good thing. And with that said, Karl, what does this biz for good thing mean to you? What is this whole concept for you?
So, man, how far do we go back? But
as far as you want.
Ooh, go back.
I started my first business called Work Happy Now, and one of the things that I found is the foundation of doing good. It comes down to your purpose, and are you tied to it? Do you believe in it? Do you have this mission that you have to do this work? Because that's the stuff that's going to get you up early. That's the stuff that's going to make you stick with something that's hard when you feel like giving up. And that to me is like, okay, if you can harness that, energy every single day, you're going to be successful. It's going to come so much easier to you because you feel pulled to it instead of grinding through this muckety muck of like trying to figure out what to do next. You know what you need to do next, and you're going to do it.
I love it. Is there a time in your life where there was a crossroads or something where that happened to you, where maybe you were focused this way and you all of a sudden somehow realize? Is there a time in your life, a specific time for you that you had an aha moment? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah. So
I love it. That's the one that went in your head just now. I can see it.
Back in 2016, my father was passing. And, before we started, we talked about somebody that really, that we connect with and that, helps us, turn what we have into something special. And I think it starts with yourself. It's connecting with yourself and what you really understand to be true. We don't take enough time to dig deep to see what's going on. So back in 2016, my father was passing, and I went into the ICU room, and he's all tied up to these tubes and monitors. And I broke down. I started crying. I was like, this is it. I knew that he wasn't going to survive this. And within I think 2 weeks, he was gone. And from that point, that's when I started keeping a gratitude journal, because I saw myself spiraling down and going into those dark places. And I didn't want to get lost in that again, because getting out of that is so tough. And I don't know if anybody's struggled with depression out there. When you own your own business and you're struggling with your thoughts and emotions, I feel for you. And so I started keeping a gratitude journal because I knew it worked. And you at the beginning, you said, is this going to go into gratitude? And the answer is yes, because I think so many parts of our life we compare ourselves to we see other business owners that are, flourishing. We watch other people on Instagram and YouTube, and we're like, why not us? And we forget how good we do have it, how lucky we are for the opportunities in front of us, but we have to be willing to work towards them. And so seeing my dad in that space and seeing him going downhill fast, that's when I turned to gratitude. And that's when I really started figuring out, okay, how can I help people? How can I make sure that they don't struggle with the same things that I did? And that's when I came up with the dig to fly method, because I wanted something that could ground me quickly and, didn't take a lot of time. I could do it within just a few minutes. And then that's when everything started taking off for me.
Wow. Well, listening to that, really, I connect with it very strongly. My dad was literally my best friend. We hear people talking about the struggles they had with their parents or their fathers, and he was growing up my best buddy, and his passing was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through. And so I know exactly what you're talking. 2014, when my dad passed away, just the coolest dude on the planet. And it was hard, man. It was hard to keep positive, to just realize, wow, I can't call him, I can't go over and see him. It's a wake-up call. Stuff like that is a wake-up call that life is short, and you got to live your life, man. And you got to be excited about doing what you should do to help you be happy and connected with other human beings. It's one of the reasons we started the show. So thank you so much for sharing that, because I think the core is gratitude. I love is that the core for everything that you do now, is this gratitude piece, or is there something even broader and bigger?
Okay. If you want, I can, it's a 5-question method that walks people through a struggle that they're having, if passing of a loved one. Okay, let's do it. So everybody who's listening out there, I want you to think of something you're struggling with. It could be something in your career, something with a family member. If you're having some difficulty, what's at the forefront of your brain? And the reason this is so important is because if we have something at the forefront of our brain all the time, we get distracted easier. We lose energy quickly, because we're constantly going back to that thing again and again and again. And then we don't let this thing go. We hold on to it because we think if we hold on to it, we're going to figure this thing out. But the reality is we just need to process it. And so this is a processing, method that if you're struggling with something, the first thing is ask yourself on a scale of 0 to 10, how difficult is this? So 0 being, it's nothing, to 10 being, this is completely overwhelming. And if, let's say it's a 7, right? You're struggling with your boss at work, you're struggling with a employee that you have. Okay, it's a 7, but what that does is once you start to put a number on it, you start create emotional space. And that emotional space will allow you to kind of think it through, pause, make sure you have this calibrated. And that is that if anybody takes anything from this, interview, from what I've talked about, if you're stuck in the car in traffic and you say, well, how bad is this on a scale of 0 to 10? And you just start applying that, right? Like
it's an 11. It's an 11.
Exactly. Right?
You're
It
in
feels
LA.
like that. You're angry. Some guy cuts you off.
Okay.
You
Wait,
have
it's just a
18.
5.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, okay, it's just a 5, but why is this such a struggle for me? What's going on? And that's when we start digging in. We start to say, okay, my employee, he shows up late. He doesn't care. If that's true, then okay, why does this bother you so much? Well, we have a contract. We have an unspoken bond of like, you're supposed to show up at 9. Okay, you're not showing up at 9. Now this is where the question number 3 is expectations. What are your expectations of this person? Do you expect them to be perfect? Do you expect them to know exactly what's going on in your head? And that is where it starts to get interesting, because usually we don't communicate well enough. And I don't know if anybody is married out there, or a lot of you are, or you have a significant other. But communication is the biggest part of it, right? And same thing with employees. We have to communicate with them. We got to talk about what's going on. What do we expect from them? And then question number 4 is great gratitude. What are you grateful for about this employee? What are you grateful for about being stuck in traffic? Whatever it is, start to make that 180 shift. Take it from our minds are amazingly flexible if we give it the right questions. And that's so important. And so if we say, you know what, this employee is not that bad. Like when he's here, he kicks butt. Okay. Now we're on to something. Now you're starting to lift yourself up a little bit. And okay, stuck in traffic. Well, I'm grateful that I have AC. I'm grateful for I got music. I got a phone. I can call any loved one I want. And so now we're getting that energy moving in the right direction. And we say, what opportunities are here? What can we do with this moment, or when we get home and we can drive, or we can get in front of our computer, or we can have a chat with this employee. Now, the key thing here is internal and external. What's going on in your mindset? Are you just attacking this person? Are you just so caught up with needing to be at point B in this traffic jam? Then you're going to have trouble finding those opportunities. But if you can find that gratitude, you can start making that shift. And then you can start to see, well, mindset wise, like, okay, I need to work on being a little more grateful for this employee, showing this employee the gratitude, talking to him about what I need. And I need to stop being afraid of that. So that's that internal part. Then external is, what can you actually do? And so you set up a meeting with this employee. Externally in the car, put on your favorite song, put on some Rolling Stones, put on some Led Zeppelin, put on some Pearl Jam, Nirvana, whatever it is. Now I'm showing my age, right?
I liked all of those choices.
You're fine, right? You're fine. That was good.
And figure out, what can you actually do to make this situation a little bit better? And that is the best part of all this, is you can find that you're taking yourself, you dig down, and now you start coming out of that hole, and then you can start flying again, because you're like, oh, I got this meeting set up. I don't have to let this thing ping my thoughts for the next 48 hours or
let it
next
go.
2 weeks, draining your energy. And that's when you can start focusing on the things that really matter.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it.
So going with gratitude, I created a daily gratitude journal with some other things on it with affirmations, and I did it pretty religiously for a couple months. And then I had a weight loss surgery, and a lot of the weight gain that I got from my weight, and the reason why I did weight loss is I did lose my mother back in 2002. She didn't wake up the next morning, and I found her, just me and her, and it devastated me. And so I put on a lot of weight, went into deep depression. So recently I had weight loss surgery, and then I've been doing this gratitude journal. for the past couple of weeks, I haven't been doing it. My attitude has been awful. Even when I go home, I've been bringing bad ganja home. So yesterday, I reprinted out my document, and I've recommitted to doing this because it does impact your life and your mind and your mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that we find, I think, over and over again, doing this show so many times, is it all comes down to mindfulness, being actually looking at things and being mindful of what's going on. If you just do that and take 2 seconds to look at how you're doing it, it will change you forever.
Yeah. Because that awareness will allow you to see what's triggering you earlier, and you can offset it quicker instead. Because, man, my oldest son loves to pull my he's 11, and he's just like me, and he's just so absent-minded. And I'm like, hey, go do this thing, and he's like, okay, I'm on it, Dad. 30 minutes later, it's not done. He's on his phone. He's playing a game. And I'm just like, come on. Like, I gave you 3 reminders. And what I'm realizing is it's up to me to do a better job of communicating with him and sharing why this is important. And I can, coming back to gratitude, the best way to keep a gratitude journal is focus on your what and your why. What are you grateful? Like, you can say, I'm grateful for coffee. That's great. But if you dig a little bit deeper, why are you grateful for that coffee? Then all the nuances come out. I'm grateful because it gives me a little boost in the morning. I'm grateful how it tastes. And now you're adding layers, and you're really connecting with that thing. Because the thing is if we're going to take action, we have to be grateful that we can take these actions. We got to be grateful for this struggle, because this is something that we can overcome. This is an opportunity for us to utilize and grow from. And then we can say, oh, okay, like I get it. I get where I need to find that. And this is what's called whey power. Have you guys ever heard of that term?
Whey power, like whey protein?
So willpower is like this finite resource that we have, right? Like,
willpower. Like, okay, I got it.
No, like whey power and willpower.
Oh, okay. I'm there. I'm still there.
Willpower is like, I got to go do this thing. I'm going to go do this thing, and I'm going to force myself to do it. And once I do it, I'm going to feel better, like working out, right? Like, get up, put on my walking shoes, and I'm just going to get out of the house, right? You're forcing yourself to do it. Well, the idea with whey power is, what are you grateful for about that walk? You start planting seeds in your mind of like, oh, I'm grateful for the quietness. I'm grateful that I can do this mindfully. I'm going to be grateful as I walk around and hear the birds, or if you do it early, the no traffic, or whatever it is. Now you're planting seeds of like, oh, this is something I want to do versus have to do. And you're more likely to actually do it.
I like that. The why makes so. I've kept a gratitude journal. You've heard me talk about that many, many, many times. But I've never thought about putting the why, adding the why to it, which is, it just makes total sense. It's cool to say, yeah, I'm grateful for this, but it's really cool to realize why you're grateful for that and put that down as well. I mean, I think we just take for granted that we know why. But I think it's very cool to actually mindfully put it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so powerful, because then you're really, and they say like, if you can create a physical way to celebrate something, you're more likely to do that thing again. Like, the reason people pick up a guitar and want to play it is because it's a physical thing. They can feel it in their body, the vibrations. They can, they're moving their fingers across the strings, and that's why it's so addicting. And so to change any pattern or any habit that we have to add a physical component, because we're physical creatures, we're animals. We need that that touch, that sense to add on top of it. And that's why, to me, is the why is so important with gratitude, because you're adding that extra layer to deepen it and make it a core part of yourself.
I love it.
So this brings us to question number 2, right? Am I right on where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
The title of the show is Dig Deep to Fly High. I'm just curious. I mean, tell us a little bit more about what
are you saying there?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So the key part is we need to slow down. We need to take stock of what's going on in our careers, in our businesses, with our families. And that's where you can find more gratitude, right? Because that's the stuff that's going to keep you going and moving forward and excited. But if we don't take time to pause, we live in such a fast-paced world. And if we don't stop, notice, be aware, be in the moment, then we're going to miss out. And we're going to, what's next on my to-do list? Cross that off. What's next? We need to slow down. And that's where that just asking yourself the 0 to 10 scale of like, how difficult is this, will really help you. And I got it from when I went to the doctor and I was having trouble with my foot. And he's like, well, how bad is this on a scale of 0 to 10? And I was like, that's what I need to use. That's exactly what you should put on a struggle. Because then you're like, because as soon as he said that, the pain was not as bad as when I was like, it's probably like a 2, like. And he's like, okay, like, well, that's not too bad. Like, okay, let's try, some orthopedics in your shoes. And I was like, okay. And now I had a plan, and I was like, that's exactly, what we need with our struggles, and we need to be able to process them. And that's what this all came about, is just trying to figure out a system, a method that would allow me to process things quickly. And, now throughout the day, whenever I'm mad or upset, which happens less and less, I just put that 0 to 10 on it, and I go through the questions in 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay, now I got some action steps. I can let this thing that's been bugging me all day long go. But it comes back to what you said. It's awareness. You have to be able to see these triggers, and then you got to notice them. And that's the hard part. But the more you practice, the better you get at it.
So is that where the dig deep comes into? What is that? What dig deep means? Dig deep to look at what the problem is, or what is the dig deep?
Yeah, I think of digging into yourself. I think 99% of the problems we have in life are from our mindset.
Don't look at ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when we stop, pause, and we look at what's really going on, try to bring some honesty to, are we just reliving some stories that we, something from, we got rejected by a girl in 7th grade. And now every time we, try to reach out to somebody on LinkedIn and try to make a new connection in our business, that little bit of fear comes in, and we say this story again. I hate that feeling. No, I'll put that off till tomorrow. When the reality is, no, you need to be doing more of that today, and you need to figure out what's holding you back so you can then move forward.
So I see the dig deep to fly high. You dig deep to look at it so you can let go of it, and so it doesn't keep you down.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, that is it. Over and over again, we talk. It's mindfulness. Over and over again. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show. We got one last question, or kind of a last question. Is there a gold nugget that you could give our listeners? Some kind of a gem or an action item that you could tell them?
Yeah, so I think one of the best things to do is figure out what you can do each day to slow down and take some time to process. Take some time to dig deep, even if it's, and I suggest people do it at the end of the workday, because it helps you kind of put a little bow at the end of your day. And you can use the Dig to Fly printable that I have on my website. You can keep a gratitude journal, but the idea is, and this is, I love this one too. What did you do well throughout the day? That's such a good one, because we always focus on what we did wrong, focus on the mistakes we made, the blunders we made, the stupid thing we said in a meeting. But we don't focus on that email that we worked hard on, that took us a half hour, the presentation we gave, and we don't reward ourselves and take a moment to say, yes, this is something that I should celebrate and be appreciative of. And I'm lucky to be able to do.
I love it. Love. Oh, so cool. You got any last questions, Ryan? Anything? This has been great, man. Thank you so much, Karl. You're an amazing human being. I'm better for the show. I can tell you that right now. How about you?
I've got very good energy.
Yep.
Very good energy.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. And I love hearing about being mindful and actually looking at things. And I love the concept of that number. I'm with you. When you're at the doctor and they're talking about pain scales, it makes you think, at first I'm like, this really sucks, and now it might only be a 3 when I think about it.
I guess I shouldn't have came in, doctor. I'm sorry.
Jeez, I'll just leave now. Thank you. Awesome.
Any links you want to share? Or any?
Yeah, if people can go to digtofly.com and they can get the printable, and it's those 5 questions you can print out. I suggest people do it like one day a week just to get started, kind of set some time aside. And I also have a podcast called Dig to Fly, where I interview people just digging deep into their mindset and like what they do to thrive in their businesses.
Ooh, I love it.
We'll subscribe.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Karl. This has been great.
Thank you.
You gonna take us out, Ryan? You gonna take us out of the show?
You bet. Thanks, Karl, for being with us, and we're very grateful.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I met you guys, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Cool.
Thank you. We always end the show with the hashtag Be Good, Do Good. We say it 3 times. We get crazy.
We get louder and louder. You can either watch us or you can join in. It's up to you.
Yep.
And everybody out there listening, if you're in their car, give it some yell. Come on. This is called, what is it called? Scream therapy or something?
Something. Anyways, here we go. Hashtag
Be Good, Do Good. Hashtag Be Good, Do Good. Hashtag Be Good, Do Good. Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Oh, crap. The mouse.